But yeah, I mean it's the Motor City, man. So a lot of stuff is around the cars and doing stuff that's like illegal with cars,
Cars and home invasions,
home
going up
invasions,
in people's house taking TVs.
stealing piping. Like people would steal
Yeah,
like your actual piping because
co-
it's copper,
copper wire.
copper wire. That's a whole thing in Detroit where you strip your house and they just go in an abandoned house and take all the copper wiring out of the house so they can sell it. Like they'll ruin a house just so they can sell the copper.
Man, you're not helping Detroit cars. That's
Hey man, we
crazy.
get it by any means. That's what we are. We are dedicated people.
Y'all take from other people instead of uniting, and y'all just
No,
further
not
perpetuate
just that.
the
We That
poverty.
mentality can be utilized in a positive way. All right. Welcome back to the House of Wolves podcast. This is your host, Deontay, with my friends Jalen and Josh. Today we got a few topics that we want to discuss. That is the PlayStation 5 Spider-Man Remaster. The Xbox Series X console launch was just as bad as the PS5s. We'll discuss that. Among Us going crazy right now. It used to be a pretty much a game that nobody cared about, but it seems as if now it's the most popular thing in the world. And just finally, why we stopped playing Destiny 2 and our reasons behind that. But yeah, before we kind of start here, just to get it on the podcast, how are we all doing today? Has it been a good day? How you guys doing?
How you
Yeah,
ask us about an intro?
Huh?
Nah, just, I'm just talking. Uh, nah, I mean, I'm straight, man. I went to Yardtown. I was in Detroit. Went downtown for the first time, but nah, straight, man. I'm just trying to start up my new semester or trimester, I guess you can call it.
Mm-hmm.
And guess just kind of keep it pushing, man. Still on the field. So.
yeah, same. Halfway through the semester, just trying to stay afloat and waiting on some more games to come out.
More games, more games. Me too. I'm ready for some. I'm actually waiting for some games. I mean, this ain't even a topic, but that Ghost to Tsushima, that raid, I might have to get some more dedicated friends to actually play that with. But that game actually looks like they're going to put some effort into the multiplayer, and I actually want to play that as well. So it's some stuff I'm looking forward to come this October and November. But definitely Ghost of Tsushima just jumped right back up there with that trailer they just released.
You waiting for that crash too, ain't you? Or you trying to play that crash now, huh?
Crash already
Nah,
came out.
Yeah, I know. You trying to play that Crash Bandicoot, huh?
No, I don't really care about Crash. Crash is a
Man, I am.
frustrating game, period.
No, it's not. I'm trying to play it, but I ain't got the money to play it. So if anybody trying to donate money to my cause to play Crash, you will be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. So you telling me that you can't afford to play Crash? You just took a trip to Detroit. Why not?
Because that was from my mental health. And Crash
Uh,
Bandicoot, it might further perpetuate bad habits in my mental health because of
it's
the
gonna make
game.
you
Could be
frustrated
frustrating.
because the game is not fun.
exactly, because the
No,
game is
yeah, I ain't even
not
play
fun.
it,
Not fun. Simple as that.
man. IGN gave it an 8. That mean it can't be bad.
Who?
Too
IGN.
much water.
Look, I said it can't be bad. I ain't say they gave it
Too
an 8,
much
so it's
water.
good. I said it can't be bad.
No, they said too much jumping, huh? He said too much.
No, they didn't.
They
They didn't
said,
say any of
"Oh,
that.
this platform just has way too much jumping."
You tried it. Anyway, if anybody be willing to donate to my cause, you'll be compensated tremendously. I don't know how yet,
Yeah.
but I think you will, though. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. So Crash, great. That seems like a solid choice. But you know what is free and you have Ghost of Tsushima, and you probably haven't beaten it. But
I ain't had time.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Man, come help me do my homework, man. Come help me learn how to take blood pressures and uh, diagnose people with cirrhosis and stuff like that. And
Man,
then I have
how
more time
many
to play
times?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Man, I'm about to. Let me when we done with this. I'm going to request your stat sheet for Ash and Overwatch, and I'm gonna see how much time you didn't put into that game to just try to estimate, how much time Jalen really has on his hands, on the day to day, because I'm pretty sure you probably got about 40 hours on Ash by now, and that game
I'm
ain't
finna,
40 hours, Jalen. Just so you know.
More than
but
that.
it's like it's over. You got to quantify how many months and the frequency at which I play it. You
The
can't cut on Ghost of
frequency.
Tsushima and play 30 minutes and be like, all right, I'm content. Nah, ain't how it works.
I haven't finished it either, but I mean, I don't think they're gonna make you finish the game to play the multiplayer. So if
No,
they
I
want you
don't
to
Yeah.
think
try it,
so. I think
then
it's just
just do
gonna
that.
it's gonna allow you to jump in, but I think it looks really cool. I think it has a lot of it's got a lot of other stuff that in it that you can like play like class types and stuff like that. So I think it's gonna be cool. Anyways, what was our first topic? Oh, that stupid Spider-Man PlayStation 5 remaster. Have you seen that at all? Like seen the PlayStation 5 remaster for
I haven't
Spider-Man, the game that
looked at
came out in
the.
2018?
I haven't looked at the trailer, but basically you gotta rebuy it and start over, right?
You basically you gotta restart. They want you to pay. They forcing you to pay $20, or so you actually have to buy Spider-Man Miles Morales to play it. So you have to pay the 40 and then the extra 20, so $70. They're trying to package it so that you can actually play Spider-Man Remaster, when all they literally did was upgrade the textures and change it to 60 frames per second, and it's not even a locked 4K. It's still a resolution like bump with the whole, what does they call it when they do it? I forget what they call it now. It's like the re-imaging where they kind of upscale it, but it's not even a full 4K. And then they ucked up my man's face. My man's look like a whole child right now. He used to look like a young adult. Now he looks like a 13-year-old. And they called that a rematch. They slapped it on there and said, y'all gotta pay $20 now. So everybody is upset because they not only charging you for something, but they also changed his face. Me, honestly, I don't care about his face that much. I think it's disrespectful for somebody to come out 2 years later. They kind of pulling a Nintendo, and they come out 2 years later with a game that they just released, and they don't do much to it, but they still want to charge you for it. That's kind of like, when Microsoft would have put Gears 5's, PC graphics on the actual Gears 5 for the Xbox One X, and then charge you $20 for it. That's like the goofiest thing I ever heard of, but that is exactly what Sony is doing. And that's that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I feel like a lot of these companies, man, they really just showing that they some money hungry animals, man. They just look
Man.
like some freaking like some Mr.
Detroit people,
Krabs, bro. No, they
man,
look
Mr.
like
they got
some
that
Krabs.
Mr.
Detroit
Krabs,
mentality.
man.
They
Yeah,
finna put your car on cinder blocks, take the tires off.
because
Man.
that's exactly what is that people were worried about in the first place with Sony and like their backwards compatibility thing. Like, yeah, you can play these games, but the way that they're doing it is not clear. Some games are going to get an upgrade that are going to be free. Some games are going to get an upgrade that you got to pay for, or they're not
Right.
going to get upgrade. It's going to be a different disc. So it's like, why not just have a clear upgrade system like Microsoft has? I mean, obviously, the PS5 people are more excited for it. People are going to buy it regardless, but they're not doing anything to make your experience playing their games better. They just, you want Spider-Man to look better, but you got to start over and you got to pay us money. So it's like, I'd rather just not buy it and just keep what I got.
Yeah. I think it's a whole weird situation. I think the whole I want to, because it seems like they don't want to admit that they are trying to basically charge you for upgrading graphics, and they don't want to lose that whole remaster market. I think they're gonna do the same thing with Ghost of Tsushima. I think they're gonna do the same thing with like Last of Us. It hasn't been proven yet, but I feel like that's what they're trying to do. Where they're trying to remaster these games that were on the PS4, and that's why they're so skeptical about the whole backwards compatibility. But they had to because of Xbox. I think that they're going to kind of continuously trickle out things like this, where it seems so greedy that they just want people to repay for games that are not that improved. That is not an improved game, not worth $20 in my opinion. If I'm sitting on the old Spider-Man, right, and I've beaten that game, I feel like I should be able to stick that disc in, download the upgraded graphics, and continue to play my game as normal. But they are so greedy that they feel as if they don't want you to do that, so they're gonna call it something else, so they can charge you in the store, and they can charge you an amount of money that they feel appropriate. I feel like they're gonna do the same thing with Bloodborne. Bloodborne is gonna get an upgrade, but it's gonna be an upgrade where you have to. It's gonna be remastered, and you're gonna have to pay for it. And then they're gonna do the same thing with like a Bloodborne 2. So they're gonna have you buy Bloodborne 2, and then they give you $20 for the remaster of Bloodborne 1, or maybe they even do it a standalone because everybody knows that game sucks when it comes to like graphics and like the frame rate and all that stuff. But playing that game is very desirable to play that game at 60 frames per second. I just feel like they don't do that for a lot of games, and it's disgusting in my eyes. And it just feels like they just, it just seems like a Nintendo type of move. Like, it just seems weird. Like, I never expected them to do it like that because they have so much competition with Microsoft, and Microsoft would never probably do something like that. I'm not saying that they would never, but they definitely wouldn't.
Man, they'd do something like that.
When? When have they done it, though?
Said they will.
Well, as of now, they haven't. That's what I'm saying. As of now, they have not. So I wouldn't call it. I'll call it. Basically, right now, we have to just call it like it is and not like it ain't. I can't say that they're going to do something because they haven't proven they're going to do it yet. But I can say that as of now, Sony has jumped out the window. They are charging you now $70. Microsoft still has their games at $60. Obviously, Sony makes the better games, but at the same time, they're also forcing you to jump into the $70 bracket. Microsoft is not. They're also making you buy remasters. Microsoft is not. So it just seems as if they're just totally different. They're totally different things, even though they're fighting for the same community of gamers. So it just seems weird. It seems greedy, and it seems like forced. So that was my kind of why I wanted to talk about it, because it seems as if everybody is doing their own thing, and it's becoming very, very clear that Sony is
arrogant,
very arrogant at this point. Obviously, they got the bigger market share, so that's totally fine to be arrogant at this point. But don't get it twisted. People still gonna pay what they that wallet will decide, even if they don't have any games. People will make the smart decision if they feel like you're basically ripping them off. People make that decision all the time when it comes to non-Apple products. If you feel like you're getting ripped off on Apple and you feel like they're doing too much, you may go somewhere else. Obviously, a lot of people are so dedicated to their ecosystem that sometimes it's hard, but it's kind of a situation where if you keep on messing up, if you don't adapt, you know how you finally can move your folders around and you actually have widgets on your screen now. If you don't adapt, buddy, sometimes you may end up falling behind. So I think that's the same mode of don't get it twisted. You can still not be bought. So that's what I'm trying to figure out when PS4 or the Sony, when will they realize that they don't have to be bought? Just like Microsoft had to realize that they didn't need to be bought, and they have to figure out a way for people to actually want to buy it. So there have to be changes made in order for them to keep enticing people to come forward and come through and actually play their stuff. So I don't know. They look like they a little risque to me.
Especially with a lot of the more recent games that they came out with, they already look good, and obviously if you just upgrade them on the new system, they'll run better. But for them to add ray tracing and then now we're gonna resell these games, I think that's it's too much. Really,
Trash.
A lot of that stuff should just be free. And I feel like with Microsoft, going the way that they are, that is gonna help them in the long run. But maybe not enough to like win against PlayStation or something like that. But it's gonna help because you have games like Cyberpunk, who's already promised that the next gen upgrades are just gonna be a free update,
Right.
and then other companies doing the same thing. Where Sony, they're completely hush about it because they know they want to do those upgrades, but they're gonna charge everybody for it. And personally, I don't see the point of replaying God of War, with ray tracing when God of War 2 is being made for the system. So I don't think there's even a really big market of people who want to pay that extra money to go
Right.
back and play these old games when games that they probably already still own.
Yes, they already sold a lot. I could see if they were games that didn't sell well. Like I can say Bloodborne didn't sell well, but it was critically acclaimed. I could justify Bloodborne more than any of them.
It's
But
also an older game. Like it
right,
came out 2015, 16.
yeah, I can
Well, it
justify.
used to
2015.
upgrade.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
justify Bloodborne being remastered. But Spider Man came out in 2018. Like that's 2 years ago. What are you doing? Like, how is that even like a educated response to people wanting to play that game again? Like, I still own a copy. So, what is the point of me going out to buy your remastered edition, especially when you're tying it in with Miles Morales? So you can't just buy the $20 game. You literally have to buy Miles Morales in order for you to play this. So if anybody just wanted to play Spider-Man Remaster, they couldn't even do it unless you buy both Miles Morales and then buy the $20 add-on. It makes
Man,
yeah. I feel
zero
like that's them
sense.
trying to sweeten the deal because Miles Morales is gonna be shorter. I feel like that's what I heard. Is shorter than the first game.
Yeah, it is shorter. It's like Lost Legacy, like
Hmm.
Uncharted Lost Legacy to Uncharted 4 A Thief's End. That's what they're kind of explaining it as. So it's kind of like this standalone game, but it definitely isn't as big as the first one.
Hmm.
Which I mean, that's totally fine, and I'm okay with just paying $40 to play that experience. And because I bought Lost Legacy, like, I mean, come on, man, y'all have people that's going to buy this stuff, but you're risking a lot of your reputation by doing these moves, like not talking about your console. We haven't even seen a UI of your console yet, G. Like it's October 5th. Your game console comes out in almost less than a month, and you still ain't showed off your UI. Like we gonna see it. We gonna know what it looks like when it comes. Why y'all haven't just shown off your consoles? Like we have the ink in information from this thing. We don't even know if it's gonna support like external hard drives for this thing yet. We don't know anything about the system. We literally found out about those indicator lights on the front of the DualShock or the DualSense now by watching the Japan I forget what they were doing, like the YouTube Japan YouTubers were putting out stuff, and they had like little dual sense like indicator lights on the front to showcase if you're player 1, player 2, player 3, or player 4. Like, why is this stuff not just being relatively available to people to know what they're actually buying into and what they get with the features? And it's just like, I get it that maybe that stuff don't matter that much, but it's honestly looks really bad when Microsoft is literally sending out consoles to everybody and their mama right now, and everybody else is having hands-on experience with this, while we don't even know nothing about you guys. So I don't want them to lose. I don't not say lose control. It's good for the market either way. If they start to fall, they're gonna have to realize what they're doing wrong and adjust. And if Microsoft is obviously have been falling, they have to reorganize and adjust and come back stronger. So, I mean, it's still good. I just think it's such a like mishap in regards to like communication with the consumer that it seems as if it's not real. Like, how is this really happening? How are you making these mistakes when you know this would kind of cause Microsoft to have the problems that they had previously? So it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like not good business sense. So
Yeah.
now how much they want for? Oh my bad.
No, you can go ahead.
How much they want for these games?
$70.
$70 now.
So the remaster for a game that came out 2 years ago, they want $70.
No,
Well,
they
for
want
it's like a
$20.
Ultimate Edition
Yeah,
Spider-Man. Because when you buy Miles Morales,
It's
It's what,
40.
$50? Oh, 40.
Oh no, it's 50. You're right.
Yeah,
Because
it's
then the
$50
transit,
for
yeah.
Miles Morales if you just want to play that. But the Ultimate Edition includes Spider-Man Remaster for $20.
Right.
But if you already own Spider-Man, you still got to buy that different version because your PS4 version doesn't have those upgrades or whatever.
I mean, people finna get a new console. They boy, I got a new console. I want to play a game on my new console, so they gonna buy a game that
Yeah,
already
they
been on.
want like y'all remember with the PS4 launch, people was buying all them stupid games that came out. Like we went
I
to
caught.
Godfall. That don't look
yeah, they bought like
trash.
8 games for the PS4 launch,
Mhm.
and they gonna do the same thing. Those games are all gonna sell out, but most of them are not gonna be any good. And
I
Gotcha.
did you
definitely
see that
caught Tomb Raider,
Godfall is not
Tomb Raider wasn't
$70?
bad.
but I ain't had Tomb Raider though, because Tomb Raider came out probably like 2000, what, like
Yeah.
11 or 12 or
Yeah.
something like that. And the PS4 came. I think they dropped on a PS4 at like January 2014. I think.
hmm
Yeah. I think it.
So
I think it was definitely that one had the it was okay to have a remaster because it had like better graphics, but it was still like not that much of a upgrade to be honest. Tomb Raider, but Tomb Raider was just a because I think that what they called it the definitive edition or something like that, right? I think
Yeah.
that's what they were calling it, Tomb Raider One. But
finesse edition.
yeah, where they would like give you the hair textures that they was given to the PC players, and it was still looking
hmm
garbage. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that companies don't do this stuff. I'm just saying that now that you're on a bigger, you're not the other company, the third parties, because forget 2K. 2K trash. I'll never buy a 2K game ever in my life. Only thing I'm ever support from them is coming out of Rockstar. 2K can they can just go away. I want to play Mafia, but because I hate that company so much, I'm not buying it unless it's cheap,
Yeah.
unless it's free. Because I hate that company just because of all the moves that they make. Now, these companies, I have to participate in whatever they do because these are the two consoles that I'm going to be playing. And to Sony be doing this stuff, it kind of makes it seem as if it's just like y'all don't care versus Microsoft not doing that. And so it's kind of just like a weird, a weird, a weird situation because it's just stupid. I think it's just honestly a stupid decision to make that stuff like mandatory and to make that stuff like required. Even if you were to just let people buy the $20 upgrade, that's even better than what you're doing now because people can just use their old game. But it's still all around like a terrible thing. It's just bad because literally when you look at the Xbox Series X and you see all these backwards compatible games getting bumped up to 60 frames per second and not even having to do anything, like literally you just put the disc in there and it's already at 60 frames, like you're charging people for this. It makes zero sense. And then it
Yeah.
ain't even full 4K. Like, come on,
With
dude.
backwards compatibility in this age, it don't make sense because with the PS3, it was like it doesn't move forward, so we can't do it. So
Right.
they have found a way to justify you having to rebuy Tomb Raider because it's just a different disc. But with Bloodborne is going to work on both, there should be no reason that you're going to charge me extra money just to upgrade Bloodborne.
Because you don't do it on the PC. It's like you
Yeah.
don't do that. If you buy a new graphics card, then you're gonna take advantage of the new stuff, regardless of what you purchased it at. It's gonna run better on the new systems, and these things are now PCs, regardless of what they may think. They box it in like whatever pretty little format they want, but it's a PC. That's what it is, and it should be able to scale with your architecture, and that's what Microsoft is doing. And I know that Sony is doing the same thing. They just don't want to admit it, and they want you to charge it because they still want that Nintendo money. And I'm assuming because of these, Japanese companies, that's what they're doing. I don't know, but it seems very strange to me. Like this is not the type of moves that you want to make right now at this time, and not during your launch. You have all this bad press for no reason. It's just weird to me. And that now that you know that they're gonna be like freaking Demon Souls is like what it was like 66 gigabytes or something like that, and you only get 666 gigs in the system after the system is like taking up the rest. So come on, man. And people still think the PlayStation 5 digital edition is a good idea. Come on, fam. That y'all are missing the point here. I'm not saying that y'all gonna save on space. I'm just saying it's a bad idea because you're gonna be paying Sony and Sony alone $70 for your new games.
If they want Call of Duty and 2K, they're gonna be straight.
Man, I don't even care. I don't even care if you are. That $100 uptick and like that $100, entry point and the amount of money you're going to save at the beginning does not outweigh the cost that's going to come at the back end if you buy that and only keep that system. I prefer mine to have physical disc, and I'm going to continue to do that moving forward.
$70 a pop.
They definitely getting down. It's a whole finesse they running. They plotting, man.
Yeah, they don't have a Steam or a I forget the other ones. Like they don't have these type of companies that's competing like Uplay. They don't have like EA. Like they don't have their own stores where they kind of go and you kind of buy from them. You're just buying directly from because Microsoft owns the share, right? So they're not gonna cheapen their prices because all it's gonna do is make it's not gonna like lessen the amount that Microsoft gets the cut off of. So it's not like, what's the point of me selling it for cheaper? Just like when you buy them from Amazon and stuff, they always still full price, even though the physical is half off or something like that. It's the same thing. It's like, what's the point of me buying it from you if you're gonna still get the same type of cut and I'm gonna still lose the money? So it don't matter. I'm not gonna take the sale. So that's where I don't want to put my trust into these two platforms to just say we're going to do good sales, we're going to do this. Obviously, they still do good sales, and I'm not going to say that they don't because you see me up in the flash sales and all that stuff. Y'all see how I get got sometimes.
The flash sales, they be getting you. They be running it up.
They be like, ayo, Deontay, we gonna get you. Just cost 3, just cost 2.
Hey, I just seen they put Street Fighter 5 for PlayStation Plus, man. Didn't you cop that on the flash sale?
I copped that on the flash sale.
See, if you'd have waited 5 years,
I'm not
you
saying
would
the
have got it for
tactics
free.
don't work, buddy. Nobody's denying that here. I'm denying the fact that I don't trust them enough to let that be my only source of gaming, and that be my only way of gaming is digitally.
They work all right. We know.
Physical when I can, and I definitely want to take advantage of like resale, and because it's like I said, it's an expensive hobby. Like that's expensive to be a gamer, to be honest, and it's like you really have to try to figure out ways to cut corners at places so that you're not overly just indulging and like spending way too much. I cut out a lot of stuff in my regular life just to be more of this tech advance and stuff like that. I don't buy a lot of other things outside of this stuff, and I try to minimize what I buy or at least make it cheap. So it's just it's an expensive hobby. So I don't see why people don't get that, but it is very expensive. But yeah, I think remasters overall, which we supposed to be on topic, remasters are not a good idea. They're just not a good idea, especially when the game is 2 years old. If it came out in 2017, I don't care. It's 3 years old. That's not enough. It's still not enough time. But I think it's 2018 when that game come out. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. In fact, let me just check. That's me typing.
What do you do? We couldn't tell. No, just fine.
Dropped this $70 on Demon Souls, Jalen.
Nah, they ain't getting 70 smackaroos out of me, bro. They got me bent.
What's funny is, I feel like the $70 thing is gonna hurt third parties more because Godfall is on PC for $60 and it's $70 on PS4. And so, like, for people who have options, they're just not gonna be buying as many games on PlayStation.
It makes
Overwatch Origins Edition.
It makes no sense. If they're going to raise the prices on PC gamers, oh boy, they got another thing coming. But I think it's just I don't get it. I don't get that because that's why I said Microsoft hasn't made that move yet. Halo Infinite, all their games are still cheap. Obviously, the third parties are not. Let me see. I haven't even looked at Watch Dogs Legions because I think Watch Dogs is still $60. Am I not mistaken? Watch Dogs is $60 still. What game? Yeah. Yeah, Watch Dogs is still 60. Yeah, this is just a strange situation. It's weird. I don't know. I think they're just making a bad move here. But what do I know? I'm just kid with a mic, I suppose. What do I know? Every PS collection. Well, what is our next topic here before I go on a tangent? Xbox Series X console launch. Oh yeah. It was just as bad.
Yeah.
Even though we knew the date, the time, and the place. I I was getting them, but that's because I was a dedicated man. But it was a very bad. It was a bad one too. It was just as bad as honestly the PS5. I think I was able to get more for the Xbox though, just because I knew the time and I was able to like be set up. The PlayStation was just like a spur of the moment. I was able to grab two, but this one I was able to secure five, but I didn't need five, so obviously I had to cancel a few. But it was just a way for me to make sure I was able to get them, and I was. But the PlayStation, some of them has already been delayed, quote unquote, but I already got my secondary, so I'm still good. Hopefully everything comes on time. But it was still just as bad. What was your experience there, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, at least I was ready to try to buy one. Unlike the PS4, where it was just like, go, go,
Mm-hmm.
figure it out. Um, but I think mainly just a bunch of websites crashed at the same time because everybody was looking for them. I ended up getting one from the Microsoft Store, and I think I found another one on Best Buy, but I didn't need it at that point because I feel like Microsoft is they'll get it to me on time, or I can just go pick it up. Um, but yeah, I felt like it was going to be a headache for people who weren't ready at that time because I put it in a pre-order at like 11:02 as soon as it went up, and those started messing up. So if you were after that, it was just as bad of a headache as far as like the GTX cards and RTX cards and the PS5.
Oh man, them RTS cards. Oh my god, I can, I, I have never been so disappointed with the company. The video was terrible. That was a terrible situation. I mean, I'm glad because I didn't really need one, so I'm not even pressed about it no more. But it was just like, come on, man, y'all ain't even try. This that was a non-trying situation. That showed me a company that doesn't try. But yeah, it was just
Yeah, but I feel like, well, at least for what I've seen, they always do that where it's hard to pre-order their cards, and then they just drop it just so that the market will go crazy. The old cards prices drop, the new cards prices skyrocket. Everybody buying them, and it's always this situation with Nvidia.
yeah. Whew. Yeah, I don't know. They just some weirdos. But it was it wasn't as bad as the PlayStation, but it was in a lot of different ways. I think people were just jamming the sites. Everything was crashing. But this is like a pandemic. This is a new thing. It doesn't happen often, so it's not like people are anticipating consoles year to year. So I'm just hoping that next time they maybe have some better technology in place. How we check out online, how we make sure bots aren't available. Like the shoe companies should definitely invest in how to beat the bots. Like they really should invest in how to beat the bots on websites and companies like that, so that the fans aren't always upset, and then you have this inflated resale market. But I don't think the companies care. I think they just I mean they're okay with the sales, and they kind of like the high profile, hard to get type situations. The only time I haven't seen like that was the Christmas when they had the Jordan. What was that? The 12s we bought, Jalen? Was that the 12s? Yeah, we bought the
Nah,
12. No, was it the
I,
11s?
I,
The
yeah,
11s?
you know I ain't finna cop no 12s, man.
Yeah,
Don't play with me, so
my
I ain't
bad.
playing with you, so don't play with me. Not just fun.
Yeah, it was the 11s, and it was the what we got the Concords, right?
Yeah, I think it's Concourse
Yeah. So the
2018.
Concords were pretty easy to get. That's the first time I ever seen where a shoe where most of the people that wanted them got them. That was the first time I seen it. I don't know what technology they were using, but it actually worked. Or maybe they just had an abundance of the shoe because once you went to the resale markets, guess what? They were still the same price. They weren't that overpriced. They were like $40 more versus being supercharged and being like $400 to $300 more. So I think they can do what they want to do, and what they choose to do is make them difficult to get. So I think they should still
Well,
invest in like making it where so that resellers aren't the ones that's like benefiting the most from this, and it's actually the consumers.
I will say I did go check the price of the Concourse today, and they went up by like somewhere between $100 to $200,
Well, that's more
and
so the
then some.
rarity. Everybody that had them probably already wore them. So now that they can, inflation is kind of a sticky thing because during the time of the shoes being relatively available, obviously it's cheaper. But once you let the times go by, and then previously the murder shoe, I don't know what they call those. I think there's the what's that shoe called? I don't know. It's the red ones. But the that shoe came out, and so that was the last big drop. So the Christmas before that was the Concord. So yeah, give it some time. People more than likely probably didn't have it, or probably wore them. Isn't it the cool grays this year? The 11s, the cool grays ones. I don't know. I think it's the cool grays this year for Christmas. They always drop them during Christmas.
We'll see, because Cool Grays ain't been out since I think like 2010, and they won't ban those for them. I think them like 800 or something around there. I seen something for like ask price around like 800 for like the high tops or whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, honestly, the shoe stuff is kind of it's starting to it has definitely fallen behind to the wayside when it comes to my I wouldn't say my priorities because it never was a priority in the first place, but it was more so what I would spend my additional money on. It has definitely fallen to the wayside more than what it used to be, at least when I was in high school. It was definitely a lot more bigger issue for me to have nice shoes. Now it's just even through college, and now it's just way, 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 way less of importance to me. Um, but yeah, I still enjoy my nice pair of Jordans every now and again. They now call the 11s the dad shoes, which is funny. That's the dad Jordan. Um, but what were we talking about? Oh yeah, bad pre-orders. Yeah, bad pre-orders. That was a bad pre-order situation. I got mine though, so I have a PS5 on pre-order, and I have an Xbox Series X, and I was able to even secure some for the family. So it's good. I was fine with that. Oh, our next topic is that Among Us. That game's so
Shit.
funny. Among Us, man. Why that game going crazy right now, dude?
The hype, man. Believe the hype.
Believe the hype, people.
That old game.
I don't even. When did that game come out?
Man, that game old, bro.
18.
Yeah, man. I told you. I was like, that game was. It was. They was talking about making Among Us 2, and then this one just blew up, and then they was like canceled it. It was
People,
like,
they
bro,
got
we
the
getting too much money,
microtransactions.
boy. Everybody buying these pets. We getting too much money out here. We feel like Fortnite.
Yeah,
But
they is going dumb out there. I'm like, man, y'all do it so I decked out, man. Don't make me spend $1 or two on this game.
yeah, that game came out in 2018, bro. Whoever made that mud popular, they owe them a check. I don't know who did it.
It was somebody on Twitch. I felt like one of the big dudes on Twitch played it.
Yeah, somebody. That mud started going crazy.
But no, it's
So,
it's a fun game. We gotta play it more. But it's simple. Just get a couple friends in there. and it's like board game night like we used to do, but
online.
video game form of it.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that's really getting in with real strangers. I couldn't do it. I don't know. It seems weird to
Yeah.
play with that game with like actual literal strangers because it's a sync, and then like they have a single player, thing, and they saying that people are cheating in it. But I would never want to play with anybody I didn't really like. Like I didn't have any type of connection with, or like knew something through somebody else. It just seems a
Hmm.
weird situation, to be honest. It was like, why would I
What
want
is
to
a
play
single
with?
player?
Like you can literally party up and not, you can go in blindly like you're playing like a PvP match in Crucible and you don't know
Are
nothing's
you
going.
talking about just matchmake with people?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I did that last night. There's like, hey, red sus, and I'm just looking like I ain't do nothing. I just reported the body. Like dude literally came in there with me, and I reported the body. Red sus, vote him off. I was just like, well, all right. I mean, y'all
and it
dumb.
and it takes away some of the fun factor because it's not like people and you like,
Hmm.
I don't know. It to me, I wouldn't play it that way, to be honest. But it could be enjoyable in some situations, but I don't think it's in my eyes. I'd rather play with people I know.
Is that game similar to like Clue? I ain't never played that game. I was told that it's
No.
similar to
Kind of,
Clue.
but it doesn't have any rules with Among Us. You're supposed to do your objectives, but even still, a lot of people don't even do them. You just wander around, keep the lights on, and then try to figure out who killed somebody.
Yeah, I mean, you could play like you can be like a super detective and try to like coordinate stuff like where people were and how stuff happened. You can always make it more of what it is than what it ain't. But people just blindly saying, "Oh, you sus, you sus." They just jump out of nowhere. You have no way to defend yourself because everybody now thinks you're sus because you did nothing. It's kind of
Yeah,
like it's funny and like it's like tragic at the same point. You're like, bro, I really didn't do anything. I don't know why I'm being suspected of anything. I'm telling you exactly what happened, but
they be inept. Sus, sus. You be like, bro, but that's what a suspect would say. You just like, I mean, I think that's what somebody who's honestly trying to defend themselves to say too. What you want me to do? Be quiet, or y'all gonna call me sus again?
oh my
Like,
god.
I I was playing with a group. I've been playing that game lately. So when I was in y'all town in Detroit, I was playing with a party of 10, and Shorty was talking about some. I ain't go to the lights because I seen that y'all was already going over, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure, I'm 99.98% sure that you couldn't have seen us walk over there because I ain't seen nobody walk over there with me. And I was like, hey, you kind of sus. Like, last time I checked, Imposter got the best vision. They got a whole shiny gun. Like, what you talking about? She was like, well, I forgot what she said. I was just like, they was like, yeah, that is true. She was off with the quickness, bro. She was sick. I'm like, man, you got to know how the game is played, man. You done gave yourself away. Like, it just be, then you got people lying and stuff on there, dude. It be, and I was with Buddy the whole time, like, some, man. They just disappeared, bro. Man, that game funny, man. Like when you get the voice chat, like the party, you got the party going, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where the professional liars come out, man. The people who be lying to their girls and stuff, they be in that like,
Cause you do
yeah,
that,
man.
Drew. Cause most of that game you don't do it in party. You do Discord, right?
Yeah, when you put that
Yeah.
mug on that Discord, boy,
Mm-hmm.
people be in there be. Hey, I swore I seen Buddy hop out the vent, man, and they be like, no, I seen you hop out the vent. So now they just going back and forth. Or that time when Josh had killed me, and I'm over here sitting there, and you and Deontay, Josh and Deontay just arguing. I'm like, man, these cats dumb, bro. Like, and Deontay really pleaded his case, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, he is telling the truth, but Josh like, no, you killed them, man. I seen you. I'm like, man,
Yeah, yeah. No, that game is definitely fun to play, and it's fun to. It's just it came out of nowhere, kind of knocked kill. Well, it was Fall Guys right off the map. Not they ain't knock them off. They still up there. It's just that it was like it was at that craze of Fall Guys, and now it's the craze of Among Us. It's a different type of craze now. That's all you see on your YouTube. It's just people playing Among Us and stuff like that. So whoever made that thing popular, they owe them a check because it's a good game, and that's how crazy stuff is. Like people can make a game so long ago and nobody would play it. But if somebody actually took the time to actually play the game and actually enjoy it, it's way more enjoyable than what you would think. And that's crazy to me because I'm always of the mind that if you put something out that's actually good, people would tend to gravitate towards it faster. But this seemed like this was a game that was very small, obviously indie type game. Wasn't nobody really on nobody's radar, and it sat there for a while.
It's just
it sat
publicity, man.
it sat there for a while, and now it's like one of those games. So you know how like Fall Guys came out. Obviously, it's a fun game to play, and it had a pretty good following at the beginning. So it was kind of like different. Fortnite kind of was like, okay, we're gonna steal some stuff, but we're gonna make it better. And they made a good game, and they made a game that people wanted to actually come back and play. So I think I was always of the mindset of that, but this one just sat there for a while, sat there for a really long time.
Yeah, but it's good they got it out on everything in that
Yeah,
time. Like it's on mobile, it's free. And I think it's like $5 on PC. So that's probably the main reason people playing it, just because you just pick it up on your phone and then play with your friends.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. That's very true. I think that the phone situation really helped it. So no, but it's a good experience. Honestly, I really enjoyed playing that. And
Yeah, it's easy to get into. I mean, Fall Guys was easy to get into because it was free. Among Us easy to get into because it's free and it's like a simple game that I had hit up my friend to tell her to play. Like just download Discord real quick and then just hop on Among Us and we was all just playing it. You know what I mean? So it's pretty simple. It didn't take
yeah,
like a whole lot of effort or anything to get into. And you don't got to know how to play the game. I was talking to Simone, and she said something about it too. She seen somebody on Twitter talking about it, and I just kind of showed her it a little bit. And it's like you can hop on, like it's real easy to. You just got to
yeah,
be good at lying when you on if you hopping on Discord with people.
yeah. How do people? Yeah, I wouldn't even know how people. Oh, people could play in the chat. I wouldn't want to play that way though. I don't know how people play without the mics. Cause it really wouldn't be. Yeah, I don't know.
Once you
That
go with a
chat.
mic, you can't go back.
Right. So, but yeah, I mean, I really like that game actually, and it's fun to watch people play. I told you I watched that whole hour. It was like 3 hours of RDC World playing that game, and it was just the most entertaining thing I've watched because they were just they were just going crazy, and it was just like stuff that didn't make any sense. Was just like it was just funny to watch because interacting with other people while playing that game is just hilarious because you always think everybody lying or you lying and we watching you lie to everybody else, and it's just hilarious. Um, but I think what was our last topic for today? Oh yeah. hmm Probably I don't think it's gonna take that long to tell us why we stopped playing Destiny.
'Cause it's
Um,
trash.
yeah, cause
Basura.
yeah, we stopped
Boo.
playing Destiny 2, man. Why
Boo.
we stopped playing it? I stopped playing it twice now. I
When you start playing it the second time.
The beginning
probably
of the
since we
season.
started playing Warframe, I never
I
went
trash,
back.
man.
But I haven't played Warframe either. I just never went back to I never went back to Destiny. Like I used to like once we finished that whole farm. What was that? When was that farm game? When did they start that farm? It was like in March or whatever.
It was like the Nightfall thing that we were doing. But the
hmm
last thing we did was the dungeon when that came out, and we got like 2/3 of the way through, and then we never went back.
Right. Yeah, we never finished the final boss, and that's when we stopped. I think
Oh yeah, the Engram farm. That's what we were doing.
yeah, we were doing that Ingram farm, and then we finally played the because we were trying to do that to play the dungeon, and didn't get that we got far, but we didn't beat the final boss.
Man,
Um,
I stopped playing that game because I was in school. I was literally just talking to my classmates about this on Wednesday or something. I told dude about the podcast, or he asked me about the podcast when I posted it. He said, "Where did you guys get your name from?" And I was like, "Oh, this is a game called Destiny. This is our golden days." And he said, "Man, dude, I played that game too." So we started talking about Destiny 2 and all this other stuff. And basically, I told him I stopped playing Destiny 2. I deleted off my PS4 because the main reason I want my PS4 to get destroyed, like that game was like just bad to the bone, corruption. But the second reason was when they made that engram glitch, they faced it on me before I could get to the highest level. So everybody at the highest level, they bending corners on me, running circles around me. Like they just, I can't hang with them, man. And I was just like, I'm not finna invest the time to try to get better at this game and learn the meta and freaking try to get to the max level when the glitch ain't working no more. I'm like, that's entirely dead, bro.
That
That's why I
game
stopped.
is definitely taxing. I would say that.
On time, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it hasn't really got any better. Like trials and the rewards still suck, and just overall, Bungie doesn't know how to balance in a way that doesn't like screw over people because people want to be strong, but y'all want to buff certain gun classes that don't need buffs, and then you're gonna nerf other stuff to there's no point to use it. And you go back and forth every season, and it just makes it not fun to actually grind out these guns. It's gonna be worthless in a couple months. So,
Yeah, I mean,
so
I think the whole grind for me was too much at that point. I just couldn't take it anymore. I got tired of constantly upgrading and having to chase new stuff. I got tired of it. Honestly, it's like sometimes you just need to take a step away from those type of games because they're just never ending. So if you feel like you're just wasting your time as you continuously chase something that's not necessarily worth it anyway, because most of the time you can win with the little stuff that you have. Of course, you can get better with gameplay and like certain weapon types, but honestly, if you have the standard stuff, if you have the stuff that's pretty easy to get, most of the time you're very competitive anyway, so it's not really hard. It's not really worth it to chase certain things. Now, the one thing I can say that you definitely want to chase if you're really good, like if you're used to like using certain things like a sniper, chase a snapshot, quick draw. That's what I got on my beloved, and I love that thing, and I never delete it. But it's because I play a certain way. So you find the things that you really like, and then they kind of take it away from you. It sucks. It really does. And it's kind of hard to like continuously go through that because it's like, bro, it's just draining. You be like, I don't feel like doing this again and again and again to get to this one thing or chase like upgrade materials that you need to do certain things with. Obviously, the game is so huge, and they're building to a bunch of different type of players, and it's gonna get difficult to the point where I feel like I can grind. I should be able to grind something small in order to gain something big, versus having to constantly find and go grind something big to get something big. It just feels like a productive world when it comes to the materials and what you kind of have to grind for. Like you guys never actually upgraded your stuff because it was like we had to go do these steps and like these things to get it done when we really didn't want to play that stuff at all, and we didn't really want to do that stuff. And I had more motivation obviously than y'all, so I would go do it, but it was really difficult and taxing to do it the first time. And then say for instance my armor or something becomes minuscule, or I need to do something else, or the armor has different mods. Now I have to go perk up this armor to play with this certain thing, and it's like a never ending vicious cycle. They kind of fixed it a little bit when they allowed you to kind of use mods from the season previous and the new season forward, but it just was like, man, come on, y'all are really making this a whole type of grind that I don't feel comfortable doing or taking or putting my time into. So, I quit. I mean, I ain't quit. I wouldn't say I quit. I just stopped playing. I
You made a
think
wise decision on your time.
yeah, my time was a little bit more, way more important, and it seemed as if I wasn't going to. It seemed as if playing Destiny was becoming more of a serious chore than it actually was fun. So it was just a weird situation. The season stuff is dead to me. It feels like I'm constantly chasing something, and that's what they want. People want to have constant updates and constant drops, but their chase is stupid. It's the same chase every time. It's not. It hasn't changed since the game came out. It's been the same chase. Drop content, make it fun, but don't do the same chase over and over again to cause people to have to go into that same mindset of grind, 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 get power incomes, grind, grind, grind. It's just a non fun experience, and it's a very toxic loop versus actually having fun objectives to do and actually having content that people want to play. That's a difference. There's a difference, Bungie. So I got tired of that, and hopefully with Beyond Light something changes. I don't expect much. I expect the same grind to be there. They are in the mindset of they're smaller now. They don't have as much backing, so I'm not saying that they're going to take a much of a chance here. I hope they do because I really want to play that game again. I really enjoy Destiny, but I don't enjoy what they force you to do constantly. So if they change that, obviously I'm gonna play it anyway because I got Game Pass and I'm a fan of Destiny. I ain't gotta pay for it, like pay for it, but so I'm still gonna play it. But it's just that game got the same mojo to it. So I quit.
Yeah, it's time. Because of course the game is free to play now, but I don't feel like they manage or respect people's time as much as they should, because everything in the game is a grind. Everything in the game is time consuming, but it's not rewarding. And yeah, with the seasons, it just makes that time that you have to get stuff done shorter because the season's going to end soon. You got to get through it to keep these weapons. Otherwise, you got to wait a long time for them to return. And we'll try Beyond Light when it comes out. But if it's the same issue where they don't respect your time, you need to invest so many hours just to do the bare minimum. Then yeah, I'm gonna probably drop it too because obviously we got real lives, but also got other games to play. Destiny's not the biggest game in the world right now, so you guys should be trying to compete for people to spend their time in your game, and they don't seem to know how to do that.
Yeah, I think that they're trying to win that over by just giving it away for free. That's what it seems like. They're putting it in Game Pass. They are giving the Destiny free light one. I think they don't really they no longer care about changing how the grind works. They just more so, well, if we get them to them for free, maybe they won't feel as bad as because we're doing this constantly to them, and we could sell our season pass still. We don't have to stop doing that where we make them do bounties galore, and we chase this whole upgrading to 100 again, and playing the game daily because that's what they want. They want you to play the game daily. They want you to be in the ecosystem. They want you to just be in it. And while I'm in it, I expect to have some type of fun and some enjoyment. And it started to get less and less. It wasn't fun to play. It was a lot of the community was very it was just a weird situation. It was the community wasn't the Trials community anymore. Trials wasn't Trials anymore. It seemed like everybody had their sweats on when they were playing that game, and it didn't feel fun to play anymore. It just felt like everybody was a little bit too serious. I
And
don't
why?
know.
Because you was getting scraped?
No, I wasn't getting scraped. Y'all was getting scraped, but it was more so a joint effort. It's a game about joint effort. So if I was getting scraped, we all were getting scraped, and if y'all were getting scraped, we all were still getting scraped. So
Man, I ain't actually. I for sure was getting scraped. I was wondering if you was getting scraped.
I mean, yeah, I would say that I was getting scraped, but it wasn't. That wasn't my decision on my fun factor. I think our fun factor came from actually not having fun anymore. I think it was just more like a chore. It wasn't like something we actually all agreed upon to play. I think it was more so me spearheading trying to play, and it wasn't like really that enjoyable. So it didn't really mesh that well. Honestly, it I think it was a mix of the people that was currently playing it, as well as our or you guys' lack of interest in the game that kind of you know um, shaped our experience when it came to trials. Trials was different. It was just it's different. It didn't feel the same. It didn't play the same. It was just different. But it was also our mindsets were different. Period. So I mean that I can't really do nothing about that, but it's more so about actually enjoying the game and actually wanting to play the game. So that was the whole thing with the trials, and yeah. So I mean, again, if we, I think it's more enjoyable when we just run around and do nothing in that game. Like me and you was just running around with those Titans, just doing our doing the whole stupid slide thing to bounce back damage. I don't think you actually had those, but I think you were running around with something else that was a little bit more powerful. I forget what it was, but we were just running around with Titans, and we actually enjoyed that more than we did when we was playing Trials. Now, why was that? It was simply because we actually wanted to do that, and it was more so interesting enough for us. And we would sit there and talk to Josh about how we just run around with Titans doing nothing. I mean, we just charging ahead and like,
Are you talking about them? What they call them? Dome marchers?
yeah, we just run around and do nothing. And like that's what we was finding our enjoyment in, and we were still having fun, and we were still playing at, we were still playing at not a high level, but we were playing at a decent level where we were actually getting kills. But it just wasn't. It wasn't the same as we were playing Trials. That's all. So it wasn't like we didn't enjoy the game. I guess it was more so about what we enjoyed within the game.
That game just garbage, bro. They just need to throw the whole game away.
I wouldn't say that, Jalen, but yeah, they definitely need to fix some stuff.
I mean, they just need to start making Destiny 3 and start it a clean slate, man. 'Cause if I see,
I don't think they need that.
man, that game, they need to just put, like, they just need Destiny 1. Like, that game was just a better game, man. Like, I don't like the kill time and all that other stuff. Like, it's just too many little, like, quirks in that game that I don't like. And then when you got old boy, he's swinging around a doggone, what is it, arc staff? They reflecting Nova bombs, and man, them jokers immortal, bro. Like that,
Yeah,
they are
gotta do
way
some
worse than blade
balance.
dancers, bro.
They just got issues all over the place.
Yeah, it's just a pigsty, bro. Like a Titan smash. The Titan smash used to go crazy. I'm over here smashing a blade dancer. They over there chop chop. You know what I'm saying? Like, or the arc staff people. I'm just like, man, they unstoppable, bro. That grinds my gears.
Yeah, just like, but I mean, that's the whole.
No, that is
That's
the
what
worst
was,
thing in that game. When I see one of
bro.
them, dude, I'm
You
literally
your level of your the hypocrisy in your tone right now, because we would do literally in Destiny 1, we would play the meta. We would run around with party crashers and Matador 64s, and we would blink. That was meta at some point, and then it became less meta, and we still played it because we enjoyed it. But we were
Because it
doing the
wasn't
same
mandatory.
thing.
That's why we kept playing it. Whereas this game, if you're not playing the meta, then you're not winning, and thus you're might not be having fun. That's why we didn't play trials, because I mean that's why we struggled in trials. Yes, it's power level, but also with the meta involved, if I'm using like a Nova bomb I'm gonna get smashed in every matchup because my Nova Bomb just sucks compared to every other super, and even some power weapons can just take me out of my super.
And
And
then
so
like, my bad. Go ahead.
no, it and then Titan sliding everywhere because that's the meta because their slide and their Titan charge and their Titan smash can blow through everything. That game has fundamental balance issues that were not there in Destiny 1.
And
Like, yeah,
like,
everybody was small. I mean, everybody was strong in Destiny 1, but if you had an arc staff or blade dancer and I Titan smashed you, you died. Or if I Titan smashed first and missed and you hit me, I died. Like, it was just the person that was there first won. It's not just in this game we can hit each other at the same time, and then if you got the better super, I'm just gonna die, and that just doesn't feel fun or make sense in Destiny.
no, like Josh used to use the scout rifle, not meta. We used to play triple void walkers, not meta. And we used to be able to go through some people. Like we used to be able to like take what we had and work. I feel like they tried to reduce the exotics so much to the point where some exotics are tremendously better. Like you got little stupid ones like I think it's like graviton forfeit or the one that lets you blink or something. I don't know. They literally nerf blink to change it into an exotic to make it a little bit better. Like you got stuff like that. Then you got the ones with the chicken leg titans or whatever, so they can slide through every doggone thing. Like, and it lasts for a long time. Like Josh said, it's fundamental errors in the game. If I come up with a Titan smash, I shouldn't. In Destiny 1, I didn't feel like any supers was weaker than other. I feel like it was more so a priority based thing, unless you was a gunslinger. Gunslinger took a little bit more skill. You can finesse them. They didn't have as much armor. Other than that, everybody else was on the same playing field. It was oftentimes people use their supers and die at the same time. In that game, no. Who gonna be the arc staff? Another arc staff. Like,
And then it's up in the air because you can swing first and they don't die, and then they hit you and you die.
yeah, and then Deontay, you telling me I ain't using my Titan Smash right. What more do I need to do? I jumped up. I got the Titan Smash if I jump real high. I hit the dude. I'm over here tapping R1 going crazy. And you know what they got to do to me? I got to do all that. You know what they got to do? Hit R2 once. They going to track me and cut me up. Easy. I'm like that. It takes way too much effort. I'm like, it's to the point where I'm like, well, I'm not using my super until he uses his super. Cause he's just going to kill me and we're going to lose a super. Like, I shouldn't have to think like that. In Destiny 1, I used to be like, yep, use his super. I'm clapping you, or we can clap each other. Like it's straight. Like, and I can miss my Nova. Like, I mean, we've been there before. I mean, I think there's one period where I think it's either you or Josh was missing Novas like crazy, man. I'm like, bro, man, you wasting supers. You wasting them. Like,
that was definitely me.
Yeah, but like, it was fundamentally that game has some balancing issues, but it wasn't nowhere near what this is. This is. The exotics, they just nerfed the exotics, man. Like the exotics that used to really help us like do certain things. They not that as you just have to run certain exotics because these exotics are on level 10 while the other one's on level 3 versus in Destiny 1. Most of them was on level 5. You might get a couple at level 7, a couple at level 3, metaphorically put. Like some is just outright better. And if you're not running them freaking the slide and titan thingies, if you ain't doing that, or them freaking gesture thingies. Some of them cats was cold with them gestures. I know y'all say they ain't that, this and that, but some of them cats was cold with the gestures. They hit that gesture, had somebody infiltrate invisible, and they just going crazy on us because we can't see our screen flash. Like I swear they used to time it, bro. It was crazy.
Well, I think it definitely needs some balancing, and I definitely think our Void Walkers are the most, they're the most pathetic at this point. But I also think that that game is, of course, it's going to benefit from the 60 FPS. But I think it's just that game is just kind of too much going on for what frame it's trying to do it at. I think it's a lot of things that where we get shot around corners, it doesn't make any sense. We think we got away from a Titan and we actually didn't. We think we killed somebody and they swing first on us and it seems strange. I think a lot of that coding has a play in that too, but because it's the thing about Destiny is that some of that stuff is random. It randomly happens, like shotgun shots. You can one hit somebody one time, and then the next time you don't one hit them. That is a problem. So it's like things that have no measurable reason of why it's changing. That doesn't make any sense. So obviously, when you're looking at like shotgun reviews and people actually reviewing like the Fell Winter's Lie or whatever, at a certain distance, it's supposed to one hit kill you, but sometimes it doesn't do that. So that's where the issues come into play with me on why stuff is happening and why stuff doesn't happen. Um, and I can see that definitely being a problem in a competitive game where you see stuff like, bro, how did I not kill him and I shot him with all my shots? It was way too many times where we were actually saying that during Destiny 2 than we were in Destiny 1, where it didn't make
Yeah.
any sense how this person either stayed alive or how he got the jump on me and I didn't get the jump on him. So a lot of this stuff seems as if it's a lot of net coding, a lot of ways how they play how they match make in the game, what they're doing. So I'm hopeful that some of this stuff is cleared up when it go to 60, but I'm not really gonna hold my breath. A lot of stuff. I think a lot of that stuff is like non. It's not there when it comes to the PC, but at the same time, you still get that problem of supers being stronger than others. I think there's a lot of work to do when it comes to actually rebalancing the game. But if they can do that, I'm totally fine with that. But those aren't, I guess, because I'm so used to Destiny now. When I think about it, I don't even think about those types of problems. I think about the problems of enjoyment and fun because I know Destiny is. I gotten so used to this brokenness. I guess I got so used to it being broken and being like all over the place all the time. It was never a situation where that's where all of my weapons come into play where I hoard a bunch of stuff and I'm like I'm using different things constantly is because the game changes constantly. It changes how you want to play and how you should play every season, and that's difficult to keep up with, but it's also more interesting than not changing and always being the same. Like Overwatch, I got tired of Overwatch just because it's always the same. But this game has some type of randomness to it, or at least they force the randomness. But I think the things that should be standard and like should be constant, if those aren't, which I can say that they aren't, it makes the game less enjoyable.
Yeah,
So you
that
actually have random. Oh, go ahead.
that unpredictability is not good for multiplayer games because even if when we play Call of Duty, like you throw a grenade at somebody, you expect them to die.
Hmm.
And the randomness is maybe they don't die, but they need like one bullet and they're done because, they were just out of range. Whereas like Destiny, I feel like there are so many different variations of a scenario that should be pretty much black or white. Like if I hit somebody with a grenade, like in Destiny 1, it took out their shields and then I can go finish them off.
Hmm.
Whereas Destiny 2, there's a lot of situations where like it seemed like they didn't take no damage
Right.
or they took 10% damage, or you're in that same situation and you take a bunch of damage and it's like, why is there so many different levels of variation and why is it not clear what's going on? And yeah, it could just be like net code, but I feel like fundamentally they change so much all the time with in regards to stats that this stuff just doesn't work well together to make a consistent experience. And Destiny 1 didn't really have that issue unless they, came out with a bad patch and they buffed something too much and then now, you getting one shot with the pulse rifle.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the single player stuff they might actually nail with this next expansion, but it's gonna take a while because they keep adding more multiplayer stuff, and I don't know if they're actually ready. So it might be good that they're cutting back on all the different maps and everything,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
but we'll see. See if they can do a better job at balancing.
Yeah, I think they should take the more of a streamlined approach and like try to fix a lot of the stuff that's broken. Um, but we'll see. I mean, again, I still enjoy the game, and I'm more than likely going to enjoy whatever I play. But I don't want to invest in a game that doesn't invest in itself, where it doesn't fix things that are broken, where it doesn't seem as if it cares that things are broken. So obviously, we stopped playing Trials because it was broken and it was bad and it was not a good experience. And we obviously stopped playing, PVE because we never cared about it in the first place. But it was something we had to play. But now it's getting to the point where it just seems as if it's like that chore. It's like every season, you got a big chore to make and you got to finish it and you got to do it. And if you don't do it, you're going to fall behind in something. But most of the time, it's like that with the mouse on the wheel type or there's a gerbil on the wheel. It's just kind of like, it's time me to get up, man. It just doesn't seem like it's getting any more enjoyable. So new experiences, rebalancing, more modes, more maps. Come on, like we still have less modes than we did in the first one. So it just doesn't seem like they care about making any like really good fundamental changes that's going to bring more fun to the game. And like, don't even get me started on that whole gambit, garbage. And I wouldn't even call it garbage. I just think it's an afterthought. I don't really care about it. I don't want.
No, you said it right.
I don't want to say it's garbage because a big team worked on that and they put it out to the world, and I feel like I enjoyed it for at least a good month and a half, and then after that I was done.
It was straight, just like repetitive.
Exactly, and it seemed as if they were trying to do a big twist on it with Gambit Prime, and it was a huge miss. The whole collecting gear, I think they should have just did it emblem wise, and you upgrade your emblem. But they just make so much stuff about grinding and continuously grinding, and that nobody wants to jump in and invest time because you have to invest so much time. You know what I'm saying? So it just seemed as if it was just so cumbersome to even jump into Gambit Prime, get the collection sets, and actually play a role that you just like, forget it. Why would I even want to do that? It's not no point. I got other ways to get the stuff that I need. There's no real reason for me to play Gambit Prime. And then it just seems as if their method of trying to make people play stuff is very broken at this point. It should be more about rewarding heavily than actually giving you that drip feed. They have to figure out the right way of giving the player rewards versus what they do, because you really don't. A lot of people don't have that much time. Obviously, they don't want to make it like it was when Destiny 2 first came out because that was garbage. But they have to figure out a balance, and they have to figure it out fast because I'm tired of going through the same old constantly with that game. So we'll see. September.
Yeah, we'll see.
We will see. Jalen, you just need to go ahead and get him an Xbox. Stop playing. I got an Xbox for you, Jalen.
And tell these people to help me get an Xbox and Crash Bandicoot, and then I play with y'all and drop out of school.
Play Halo 5 with me.
And drop out of school.
I do all funny. Oh, 9 yards.
Man, come play Warzone. It's better than Gambit.
Right. I am going to get Cold War. I ain't going to hold you.
Oh, no, I was talking about Halo.
Halo. No. I'm getting Cold War. I'm going to play Halo, but it's going to be on Game Pass. But
man, why you finna get Cold War, man?
I want to play the zombie mode, and I want to play the story.
Young.
Hopefully it's good.
Man, they just need to bring Mason and Reznor back.
I think I saw somebody that was a big character because they showed him at the very end.
They need Reznor.
I think it might have been that guy or somebody else. I don't know who it was, but they were everybody. It made it sound like a big deal. This person was having a line and saying something. You know how they do that. So I feel like it was somebody old that was there. But they said it's supposed to be canon or whatever that means. It's not going to be like using any of the old information or whatever. I was like, bruh, I don't think nobody cared that much, but I'm gonna play it because I think Call of Duty is a simple game where it's just fun to play sometimes and you don't really gotta think too hard about it.
Overwatch.
I don't like Overwatch.
Oh, I checked how many hours I got with Ash. I got 46.
Wow. Yeah, 50 hours, buddy. And that you started playing
No,
that
I said
game.
46.
46.
Not 50, 46. There's a difference.
All right, whatever. 46 hours. That's a lot of time, Jalen. So, and that's with one character. Don't get me started on the times where you actually don't get to play with Ash.
I don't. I lead a game.
Yeah, right. Yes.
I
I
do
played
lead
a
a
few
game.
games with you without Ash. Where
Because
I
if I lead a game, y'all not going to be with me. So I was forced to play the game.
I play with Ash with you. What are you talking about? I play games with you with Ash.
You play with McCree, you play with Ash probably like 5 times.
I play with her.
Josh, get your boy, man.
10 and a half. Like at least 13 times, G.
Man, that's an arbitrary number, like that 50 number you pulled up.
So that's why I could be up to 50 because
46 is a significant number, bro.
Times, sir. 15 times kind of gives me. I can look at my time with Ash and I can really tell you. Then you really start addressing.
But you was already playing the game before me, so it don't even. We ain't even got like
with Ash. Josh,
No,
I played
like
with Ash after you played with Ash, and you was like, she tight, and I was like, oh, let me try her, and that's when I started playing with her.
40 hours is
Ain't no
is
cap.
a lot with is that your total time or with Ash only?
With Ash, my total time is 58 hours.
Yeah, because I think a couple of months ago I asked Deontay, he was at like 20, 30 hours or like total time or something like that. So you have put in a lot with Ash.
He know he have. Put in a lot of
Bro,
time.
that's over the course of like
What?
4 months.
4 months. Ooh, that's not a lot of time. I mean, that's not like it's a big year or whatever. You've been playing that game. That's all. That's all I was trying to say was that you've been playing it. It's not nothing wrong with playing it. I'm just saying you got time to set aside to beat a certain game if you could. Obviously,
you
say
an
that you
hour
have
or
to
30
jump.
minutes at a time.
You can play that hour and 30 minutes on a game that you're choosing. So Ghost of Tsushima could be your choosing, but it's not. So I respect that and I understand that because sometimes I don't want to play story games where I'm just trying to have a quick, fun, easygoing day or like just to get my mind off something. I don't want to jump into a whole other world where I got to actually think about my next task versus Overwatch. You just got to think about your next kill. So I get it. I understand it. I'm just saying that don't act like you don't got time. You got some time if you want to, but you don't have time for the stuff that you don't feel like doing.
Did y'all hear that Soy Tiet? I think he a Vietnamese dude. 46 is a significant number because that's a lyric in his song. He like 41, 42, 43. Y'all heard that song?
Yeah. Karina was just listening to that, doing numbers. Yeah.
Man, he be like 45. I'm like, ooh, that boy going crazy.
Yeah.
Man, that song was going crazy, man. He be like, yeah. Yeah. I'm like, man, I ain't think numbers can have this much soul in it.
Bro, I don't know why I was watching that. Then how he hopped on that bike and drove away.
Hey, that bike almost fell, didn't it? That boy was like, bro. Man, get off, bro. You know how people hop on a bike. He's like, man, dude, you gonna make us both fall.
That's how he wasn't singing at that point. Yeah, that joke is funny, dude.
Man, he was going dumb, bro. I'm like, man, put him on a track with Alicia Keys, man. They both got soul in their music.
Boy, he ain't got no lyrics. He just singing numbers, dude.
Man, he got a tight beat, man. That's all people care about. 45.
But yeah, that's why we stopped playing Destiny. Because Destiny take up too much time.
Hey, if they make him a skin in the game and put some lyrics in there, boy, I'd buy Destiny 2 times. And it's free.
Man, stop talking. Yes, he just said to go buy this game for a skin of the 46, the doing numbers kid.
Maybe 45.
Yeah, man.
Man, don't make me put that on, bro. I'm finna listen to it as soon as we get off this podcast.
Oh my god. All right. Well, that's been it for us. We ain't really got much else to talk about. We'll be back again. Sorry for the late upload. We had some other stuff to get taken care of. But we'll be back on in 2 weeks to this day. All right. Talk to you guys
Peace out,
later.
y'all.
Don't count. Don't do numbers too much.